Jesus.
I want you to note that it does not say that it's a revelation of the Trinity. We don't know the man Jesus Christ until he was born of a virgin in Bethlehem. And the angel came and spoke to Joseph and said his name would be Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins.
When you were there, Ben, their literature says they're Trinitarian.
Yeah. They're definitely Trinitarian to the most recent of my knowledge. Pretty orthodox Trinitarians.
And what we're going to see here, what we're seeing is he begins to talk about Jesus not being the second person of the Trinity.
Yeah, this part confused me a little bit.
Yeah, it should. It's fried ice. You ever had fried ice?
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist, you're saying?
Yeah.
So the most I could make of this was he's making this. One time Brother Danny asked me after he didn't like something I taught. He said, when did Jesus begin to exist? And I was like, I don't know, before time began. He's like, no, man, Jesus of Nazareth. I was like, okay, I don't know, 6 BC. Is that what Ray's doing? He's making a distinction between a pre-incarnate Christ and the man from the carpenter from Nazareth?
I don't know for sure what he's doing because it develops even from there. What we're going to find out is that it is no longer Jesus on the cross. It's no longer Jesus who was part of the lampstands. It is now Jesus who is part of the lampstands. So they have this doctrine where Jesus is being pulled out of the Trinity and turned into, at least partially, into the church.
Right, that's it.
And that is, if you look at groups and you want to say, oh, I wonder if that's a cult. Sorry, Ray, if you're listening, he wouldn't be. But if he were listening, one of the primary areas that cults struggle is with the Trinity and with the nature of Jesus. So the incarnation is a difficulty, like, well, when did Jesus get going there? The Trinity, who is Jesus? What is the second person of the Trinity thing? So even though they say that they are orthodox in regard to that, the preaching most recently has not been particularly orthodox. I think it's a real problem. For me, that's a real problem. That's like a red flag, like get up and leave kind of thing.
I think you're right. I listened to this twice, and this part confused me both times, but I think you're right that he's trying to make the candlesticks and the one in the midst of the candlesticks inseparable.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
Which I don't pull from the text at all, even the way he tried to do it. He's like, it's hard to walk in the midst of something, but that's kind of, if you're envisioning that menorah that they have drawn, but it's easy to walk in the midst of candlesticks. I could do it right now. Doesn't mean I am candlesticks.
There's language. The Bible was written in Greek. And there's a word for midst, which means like in the middle of a group of things. And there's a word that you can use if you want to talk about mingled. They didn't use the word mingled. They could have used the word mingled, but they didn't, or the author didn't. He said in the midst. So all of that is an error. It's an exegetical error. And Ray just picks it up and he runs with it and he turns it into something it was never intended to be. I mean, that's just such bad exegesis. I mean, just so bad.
Yeah, I found this a very weak section of logic. It didn't make me.
It's at least that, and it's huge. It really is theologically.
Yeah, if that was the case, I don't know why the author would have made them clearly two separate things. He has a symbol for Jesus and a symbol for the churches, and they're separate things. There is a mystical sense in which, Paul brings out the body of Christ, that we are members of him, and Christ wants us to be one with him as he's one with the Father. There are ways that the Bible talks about these things. But what Ray's clearly trying to do, again, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks, and everything that they're talking about is their own authority. What Ray is doing here, where he's leading, is that I'm in the authoritative place of Jesus.
Yes.
Yep.
I sit in the same seat and am mystically mixed with Jesus and his authority.
I speak for Jesus.
Disappointment is a bitter pill to swallow, paying back the hope I borrowed from someone I never knew. And it's a forfeit, humans in the suits of heroes, undressed by whispered conspiracies, in quest for the truth. But if the truth is what you're looking for, you don't get to choose the answers anymore. So tell me, do you really still believe that the truth will set you free? I do. Someday, well, if the truth is what I'm looking for, I don't get to choose the answers anymore. So tell me, do I really still believe that the truth will set me